Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Joshua Perreira, one of the best flyweight fighters in LFA. Hello, Joshua. How are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Joshua, in your last fight, it was LFA 180. You defeated Jesse Martinelli, a very good opponent. It was a second round TKO. So, what do you think about your performance in this fight?
You know, um, uh, I checked off a lot of the boxes. We trained very, very hard. He was a huge step up in competition. Very, very good collegiate wrestler, very well-rounded, switched stances a lot. But I'm in the gym with some of the nastiest fighters around. Matt Brown's my head coach. I train with Josiah Harrell, who recently just got signed to the UFC as well from LFA from his last performance. Cam Jenkins, Miles Robinsons, so many fantastic fighters that I work with almost every single day. And that gave me the opportunity and helped me get ready for Jesse Martinelli. And all the respect to him, I was hitting him with everything, but he was still standing there and he was coming forward. And all respect to him. All respect to him.
I think that it was a super impressive performance, one because of your style, but also he was undefeated as the amateur and he was 3-1 as the pro. So in the whole of his career, he lost only one time, and I believe that he never was finished. So you are the first guy who finished him, and it was like a great way.
Absolutely. Like I said, super tough. Hit him with a wheel kick, hit him with elbows, knees, and going into this fight, I knew he hasn't been finished, so I wanted to make a statement coming out of the fight, and hopefully I'll get the opportunity to show my skills again in LFA or another large organization.
Definitely you made a statement. There is no question about it. And do you have any more contracts, more fights in the contract with LFA, or was it like just this one fight?
We are currently looking at August for LFA. Not too sure for the location just yet, but still sticking with LFA, and yet again a great opportunity for people to see me on the world stage. UFC Fight Pass. A lot of people are tuning in, and you know, uh, just being able to show what I got.
And LFA also got really like a good flyweight division. They have a few names that probably will be in the UFC in the future. So I think that you will be like matched very good with some of these names.
Yes, absolutely. I've seen their roster. They have a lot of tough flyweights, a lot of tough prospects as well. And um, as soon as we get a name, I'm gonna go right back. I'm already back to the gym, but I'm gonna pick up the training again and get right back to it.
And for now, how does it feel to be an undefeated fighter as the pro after a biggest win of your career?
Um, I don't like to hype myself up as much. I could have my next fight and get cracked and lose. So, whatever happens, happens, and I'm just happy to be doing what I love so much. I'm a martial artist first and foremost. If I could, I'd be training every single day. But you know, who knows? I'm just happy to be doing what I love.
When overall did your journey with combat sport started?
I started training karate when I was super little. I'm originally from Hawaii as well, Kailua, Hawaii. So we had a lot of uh, very famous MMA fighters coming out of there. When I was growing up, everybody always saw BJ Penn. I saw BJ Penn as a someone to look up to. Local fighter, scrapper. Got in there. Extremely well-rounded and uh, conditioning for days. Even getting a little older, watching Max Holloway. even seen Brad Tavares, so many other fighters from Hawaii. And, I did capoeira after that. I competed in judo for high school. In Hawaii, we have judo season right after wrestling season. I should have done wrestling as well, but I'm so happy I did judo. But after that, picked up some boxing, started training some MMA, and kind of fell away from that for a little bit. Um, I had moved to the mainland, Ohio. I currently live in Columbus, Ohio, and just moved out here to, experience the mainland. My parents, both of them had moved to the mainland when they were young, and they always said, give the mainland a try, but where your home is. You can take the boy out of the island, but you can't take the island out of the boy, of course. But I was gonna try and get a boxing match in the Arnold Classic, very big sports festival over here, hosted by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you know, I thought I was Rocky Balboa, running out in the snow and stuff, getting ready for this boxing match. That sadly didn't happen. I got pneumonia. But I had started working as a server. For the Cheesecake Factory over here in Polaris. And one day I go into Rude Dog, which is a bar that I'm currently sponsored by as well. And I meet my uh, future coach and, friend, Matt Brown. He tells me that he had opened up a gym right up the street, closer to Lewis Center. And then Israel Adesanya walks in. This was right before his fight with Kelvin Gastelum, and he had just done a press conference in Cleveland, Ohio. So I believe he was coming through Columbus to go to the airport that's close to us. But I went up to him. I was shaking. A huge fan. I've seen some of his kickboxing career as well, and told him that I always wanted to fight and had these aspirations to fight. And he was like, "You see that guy over there?" And I was like, he points over at Matt, and he's like, "That's where you start. That's where you get your foot in the door." And started training at Matt's gym, and about a week later, I took my first amateur fight, and I lost. You know, I had no idea how much effort and time it really took to be a fighter. I thought it was just, oh, you go in there, you square up and you scrap, but it's not about that. There's an art to it. So I started training almost every single day, I basically lived out of the gym for quite some time. I still go to the gym now, and I'm there for hours and hours and hours. And I took another fight a couple months later, and this was right in the middle of quarantine as well, when the whole world was shut down. So I took a fight, I won, and I just kept training since then. And 11, 12 fight unbeaten streak, 11 fight winning streak. And here I am now, and I'm still just doing my thing. I've incorporated Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at some of the highest levels with some of the best grapplers in the world, working on my wrestling with some of the best wrestlers in the world from West Virginia, from or the collegiate wrestlers, of course, and being able to take in what I need and expel what I do not need, turning it into my own style and having a blast while doing it. And like I said before, I could get cracked my next one, I could get subbed my next one, I could lose a decision, but I'm just gonna keep having fun. I'm gonna keep doing my thing.
It's kind of crazy that you lost your first fight, and after this you are undefeated, fighting against really good fighters. Some of them are really like skillful fighters. So you are like 12 fights unbeaten streak. So it has to be impressive.
Yeah. It just goes to show you, anybody can do anything if you set your mind to it, but uh, I'm just gonna keep going all the way to the top, all the way to the top.
And if you can tell me more about your main gym that right now you are training in, so Immortal Martial Arts Center. who is your like regular sparring partner, and what like area of fighting or area of training do you like the most?
Um, I, I have quite a few sparring partners. I'm actually the smallest guy in the gym, so there's no other. Well, we do have a flyweight, Anthony Jagle, that comes from Queen City Grappling, that comes to help me out as well, another undefeated flyweight. But other than that, I'm working with 45ers, 55ers, and welterweights. Those are my main training partners. You know, I spar all the time with Matt Brown for striking. I spar Josiah Harrell all the time. We just flow. We just move around a lot. You know, one of my main training partners, Cam Jenkins. You know, he just made his amateur debut and won. But it just goes to show you, he is such a fantastic wrestler, and he keeps me on my toes every single time. I can't always stand in front of a grappler because that'll give them a straight line of attack to try and take me down. So I'm always constantly shifting stances. You know, I go up to Pilger's Old School Boxing and get working with the boxers over there. You know, I'm not just focusing on one singular um, style at all times. You know, I go get working with the boxers. I go get working with the wrestlers. I go get working with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition team. You know, Coach or Professor Cam Knight, Jimmy Lobo, Brian, Matt, Ross, Malik, Misha, all of those guys. You know, there's and I'm constantly losing every single day. I lose every single day in training because the way that I see it, you should have your hardest fights, hardest sessions in the gym. So by the time you have your fight, the fight's easy. Oh, I'm up against the wall and the guy's trying to take me down. Oh, I've been here before. I know how to get out. Or oh, uh he throws a jab and I slip. Oh, am I going to counter with the right hand over the top? You know, there's just so many possibilities, and that's the art of it, you know? Something that is incredibly violent, such as fighting, if you can turn it into a work of art or something beautiful, you know, it's that's the real show of a true martial artist, I feel. Like Bruce Lee once said, you know, a fight should almost feel like it's rehearsed, like you've been in all these different situations before. And yeah, just and like I said before, with all of these different uh uh training partners and nobody really my size, if I can defend a takedown against a guy that's 20, 30 plus pounds bigger than me, well, what does a flyweight or really have to do against me? You know, I can stuff that takedown and get right back to my feet. You know, I love the striking aspect, but you know, you can look at my amateur career. I have more submissions than anything else. So anywhere the fight goes, I feel extremely comfortable.
And in your fights, it like seems that you are a like great striker, but like you said, you actually had you have many submission wins. So it's not that you are like taken down and you don't know what to do, but you can like really quickly submit your opponent. So it's like your opponent is always like in danger, either in striking department or even on the ground.
Absolutely. A lot of people have said that I'm very offensive, and you know, I can agree with that, but not just that, but being able to dominate every single position that you're in, whether that being on the feet or on the ground, is incredibly important to me because you have to be able to flow between these different disciplines and different styles. You can't be one-dimensional anymore, you know? You can't be a one-dimensional fighter anymore. You have to be, you know, a jack of all trades, but you have to be a master of every single position that you're in.
And you mentioned Matt Brown. He actually is one of my favorite fighters all time because he always like deliver great performances. And like from your side, do you have a favorite moment of Matt Brown career?
I would say the first fight that I've ever seen of his, it was the Eric Silva fight. And it was just brutality. It was just the most devastating strikes, and not just that, just having the heart of a real champion, of a warrior. He got hits to the body and got dropped, but he just shrugged that off and delivered killing blow after killing blow. Uh, you can look at my fights and you can see the little bits of him, and all the time and effort that he's put into training me and with me, you know. Um, uh, and I fangirled, of course, when I first met him inside of that bar all those years ago. But I never thought in a million years that I would consider him a friend, because I've looked up to him so much. And it's just surreal having this person in my corner and this great wealth of knowledge with a part of the team. And I would say the Eric Silva fight, every single moment of that fight, or the Diego Sanchez elbow, just him getting knocked down, Diego throwing that kick, he catches it, he gets right into his face and just delivers that final blow, the hell blow. And yeah, just I think I would say that moment.
Yes, I think that from his career we can like pick like 10 or 15
Oh,
best moments because he had so many fights, and I believe that right now he has like the most knockouts ever in the UFC.
absolutely. Yeah, just it's crazy to see that too, that he has most knockouts, because everybody sees that he has this finishing capability and just destroys every single person in a fight. But when you see him sparring in the gym, he has his hands down, slipping, all this kind of stuff, and it's awesome. It's awesome to just train with someone like that, And like if I were to do a top 10 favorite knockouts, he'd probably have like four or five in there.
And as the amateur, you were like a champion, a flyweight champion in few organization, but also you won a bantamweight title in one of the promotions. So, do you think that you will be fighting in the bantamweight division in next, let's say, 2 or 3 years, or you prefer to stay in the flyweight division?
Um, we'll see. I felt very, very good at bantamweight, like, only cutting 15 pounds versus however much I usually do, or 10 to 15. I didn't even really cut for that my last amateur fight at bantamweight. I just kind of skipped out on like lunch and dinner, and and I made weight the next day. But we'll see. I know Davison Figueiredo recently popped up to bantamweight, and he has so much potential up there. His strength carried over. He's not killing himself to get to 30, sorry, 25 anymore. So, we'll see. We'll see. And especially now, I am on I'd like to consider myself on the bigger side of flyweight, but if I were to go to bantamweight, I'd probably be on the smaller side, because looking at the new generation of bantamweights coming in, they're getting close to 5'11", 6 foot almost. So we'll see, we'll see. But those are the same sized people that I spar with every single day, So we'll see, we'll see. Not
Yes.
not not taking it out of consideration, of course. Maybe one day.
And when in the perfect world would you see yourself in the UFC?
When?
When? Yes.
You know, Next year maybe. I'd like to say that. Um, maybe a couple more good performances, and I'll get a short notice fight like my friend Josiah, or I'll have an opportunity in the Contender Series or Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, who knows? I'd like to say next year. I'd really like to say next year. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I think that being in the LFA and the LFA and delivering such a great performances it definitely helps you, because even if you don't get a LFA title shot, you may get a Contender Series shot this year or next year, and like bringing you the everybody knows that you can like knock people out, submit them, so your style speaks for itself.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Uh, Speaking of the LFA title, I remember after my first LFA fight, which was sadly not broadcasted, I had fought a guy out of Glover Teixeira's gym, and after the fight, I had won that fight. They had the mock-up LFA belt on the counter of like their gift shop or their merchandise shop, and I just couldn't help but to pick it up and take a picture with it, of course, you know. So I look at that and I've you know, maybe before I get into the UFC, I'll get that shot at the interim or professional title, or sorry, the championship belt, you know. So yeah, who knows? Who knows?
It would be another one to your collection, so maybe there
Absolutely.
is a chance.
Of
Uh,
course, of course. You know, all of my belts that I've ever gotten, all of my championship belts, I've given to Matt to display at the gym. Not because like, oh, those are my belts up there, but I gave it to him to put it up there to show that, you know, eh, like I said before, anybody can do it. And gives a little bit of hope to people as well. So if I do get that LFA belt, I'll hold on to it for a little bit, but it's gonna go right up on that wall for everybody to see, so they can strive for something and challenge themselves and become the best martial artists that they can be.
do you have a fighter from the UFC that you would like to face, even as the like dream fight scenario? Let's say that this fight will not happen, but if you can pick one fighter from the UFC, who do you like to face?
Ooh, um, Kai Kara France. I think that fight would be fantastic. I saw him fight in Columbus a couple years back, and I had the pleasure of watching him do his thing in person. I think he fought Askar Askarov, undefeated fighter, and he beat him. And just the way that these guys were moving around and training, I was just like, I could be in there. I could give these guys a run for their money. But not saying that to out of any disrespect, but I think that would be a great fight, and that would be a great challenge down the line one day, or just a dream fight in my head to play over and over again.
And right now you have a lot of experience in combat sports. And do you have a style in MMA that you think that you have a like problem with? Maybe not losing to, but that there will be some challenges with this style.
Mm, that's a good one. That's a good one. I think the people that are going to give me the biggest problems aren't just a singular style, but somebody that's going to be able to mix it up just as or even better than me, being able to flow between all of the disciplines. We've seen what I could do with someone with a heavy wrestling base. We've seen what I could do with someone with a really good striking base or a really good jujitsu base. But somebody that can mix it up very, very well, that would be a huge challenge for me, but I feel that I'd be able to overcome that challenge eventually. Download all of their strikes, all of their feints, all of their movements, and be able to find my opening and sh shoot my shot.
And probably in your next fight, you will be fighting against this kind of opponents, like because you are like winning all the time, the level of competition will still growing. So there
Yeah,
like for sure will be some challenges, but I think that it will be also good for you because you will also like upgrade your skills.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not one to back down from a challenge. I am not one to back down from a fight. You know, I could be scared. Uh, I could be nervous. I could be overwhelmed with all of these emotions. But once I can hone all of those together, and once I make that walk to the cage, I am unbeatable. And, you know, any challenge that stands before me, I will be ready for.
And for you, what is the biggest motivator to train MMA, to be an MMA fighter, and still like winning your fights?
I won't even say it's motivation anymore. Um, I can't live without it. I just go to the gym. I train. Even if I even if I don't have a fight, I'm still gonna be in the gym, training as hard as I can. It's part of my life. It saved my life. Um, I was a bit of an alcoholic before I started fully training into it, and I can't see my life without training. Or being becoming a better martial artist than I was the day before. So so yeah. That's
And
my biggest motivation, to stay out of the clubs and come back home at a decent time and spend the rest of my evening with my beautiful fiance and my dog. You know, that's my big motivation. I guess I want to get a bit nice big house somewhere, a nice white picket fence. You know, uh, if I can make a good amount of money from doing this, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna make sure my family is set for life from it. Um, I guess that's my motivation.
so the UFC would be a good chance to reach these goals because of the like performance of the night or fight of the night, fight money. So I think that it should be your place to be.
Absolutely, and yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And how do you deal with the stress before your fights? When, let's say, you are in the training camp, you have a few weeks to the fight, and you know that there will be like some challenges, there may be some problems. How do you deal with this in your head?
Um, at first in my early amateur career, I'd be shaking at training. I'd be nervous. All I could think about is the fight. But, you know, as my career has progressed, I know I'm only have 4 fights as a professional, but as I've progressed, I kind of get better. You know, doing any job, the more and more you do it, the more confidence you have at it, and the less stress you have. Of course, there's always going to be stress. Your body knows that you're about to go to war. So, my friend Miles Robinson had told me, you know, the same emotions, the same chemical reaction that makes you nervous is also the same chemical reaction that makes you excited. So, being able to trick yourself and being able to turn on that switch and becoming that warrior, that gladiator when you step into the arena. Um, uh, I'm not too sure who said this quote, but being able to get those butterflies in your stomach and making them fly in formation, you know. Um, but yeah, I think just breathing, being able to visualize the fight play out in your head. You know, you gotta think of the good stuff. You gotta think of the bad stuff in a match. You know, you're never gonna come out of a fight unscathed. Um, you know, um, but yeah, just staying calm, having a clear mind, and once you make that walk, every step you take, you just become that fighter, that gladiator. When you step foot in the cage, you're unbeatable.
Yes, probably in the cage you are not like feeling any stress because you know that you are fighting and there is no place for like stress.
Yeah, not at all, you know. I always I don't know, it's like a whenever I get into the cage, I feel the canvas, I hear the crowd, you know, I hear my family yelling all the way over there, you know, and I feel the cage from the inside, like, you know, I grab the cage. The scared part of me starts to slowly fade away because, you know, I put myself in this situation. I can't back out now. This is my cage. I'm gonna be fighting for it, you know.
And outside of fighting, do you have any like passion or hobbies that the things like that you like to do outside of training?
Yeah, yeah. I was a dinosaur kid growing up, you know. I love dinosaurs. I have a little fossil collection upstairs. I love going to museums and seeing all the displays. When I went to the Chicago Field Museum, I was having a heyday because, you know, the famous Sioux Tyrannosaurus skeleton is there. Um, I used to make models when I was younger, you know, of tanks, cars, planes, all that kind of stuff. I love watching documentaries about warriors and stuff like that. Ancient Greeks, the Egyptians, all of those things. I'm a huge Godzilla fan as well. You know, I just watched the the new Godzilla movie recently. So yeah, just you know, just a big kid. Just I love to draw. Um, and above all, I just like to spend time with my dog and just relax. Sometimes I like to be by myself and just go to a park and just walk around, you know, just take it in. Nature lover. Uh, I know we don't have an ocean here, but I used to always love swimming back home, Kailua Beach. Uh, uh, but yeah, just those kinds of things, you know, spending time with my fiance, soon to be wife, Tiffany, spending time with my friends, my loved ones, people that I care about, you know. Um, yeah, that's about it.
I think that also GSP was is like big fan of dinosaurs.
Oh
So
yeah,
he's
yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah, I remember watching that a documentary that he helped like narrate and stuff too. Discovery Channel, couple like when I was really little. That's weird. That's weird how the parallels there. But you know, just gotta do what you love, and if I could steal the whole T-Rex skeleton from the Chicago Field Museum, I'd put it right in my pocket, you know. But yeah, yeah, just yeah.
I have a last two questions, but they are outside of fighting. If you have a chance to live in one country but outside of US, where would you like to live?
Um, ooh, that's a good one. Uh, uh, outside of the US, maybe the Philippines, you know. I have you know, being from Hawaii, I'm actually half Filipino and Portuguese, you know, they call me Hapahauli, you know, just like half kind of stuff. So maybe the Philippines, I have so many family members that I've never met out there just yet. So, you know, connecting with that side of my family and, you know, finding my that part of my family again, that I would really love that. And also, you know, beautiful, a lot better than a lot better than being stuck out in the cold out here, I'll tell you that. So, you know, just maybe the Philippines.
And one last question. If you can learn one skill, but also outside of fighting and anything connected with MMA, what kind of skill would you like to learn and know?
Um, I would like to learn different languages, you know, not just the spoken, but like sign language, you know. I know a little bit of sign language, but you know, I want to be able to carry conversations with people in different languages because, you know, martial arts isn't just or like you said, outside of martial arts, but being able to connect with people from all the way around the world, I feel like that's a huge thing. I know, especially in this day and age, a lot of people are being pulled apart, a lot more a separation between ethnicities and cultures. We're all people, just being able to get down to a personal level with people and just, I'm just another human being too, I don't care about what your government has to say, or I don't care about what my government has to say, we're just human beings, you know, just human beings are social people, are social creatures, like we can all get along, can't we? Can't we?
Definitely we can. Okay, Joshua. So thanks for the time and for the conversation. I hope that we can see you in the LFA cage at least 2 times this year, and maybe next year you will get either like short notice call from the UFC, or like contender series shot, because with the few other wins, it's like should be obvious that you should be there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I really appreciate that. I'd like to shout out a couple of my sponsors, if that's okay. Um, you know, Cisco with Dope Soul Tattoo, um, Immortal Meals, Immortal Diet Optimization, my boy Eddie with them, um, Immortal Coffee, my friend Connor, Immortal Martial Arts Center, all of my training partners and coaches, Matt Brown, Mark Coleman, Shane Nietzsche, Cameron Knight, Killicam Jenkins, Miles Robinson, Josiah Harrell, Jaden Maddox, Adam Marcour. Man, I got a lot of teammates. Lucas Siebert. um, and thank you. Thank you for letting me be on and talk your ear off,
Yes, thank you too, because it's like always cool to talk to the fighters who are not like in the UFC yet, but they have like a very big potential to be there in like 2 or like 3 years. It of course depending on the fighter and stage of their careers, but it's like for you it's 1 or 2 years, I believe.
Well, I appreciate that, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that I have a lot of potential. And I'll give uh, every single time I fight, I always put my heart and soul on the line. I leave it all inside the cage, and I think people like to see that. Just a true martial artist, a true showman, and a true man of respect when you're in there. So I appreciate that, man. Thank you.